bitch. Is that better? Is bitch better? Is bitch better? Is bitch better?
Hey, bitches. Welcome back to another episode of Bitches Better Love Island Edition. I'm your host, Raven, and whew, these people work my damn nerves this episode. And by people, I mean Kenzie. But you know what? Let's just get into it. It's episode 12. Okay, so Kata and Zach go to the hideaway and they're ready. Kata's like, ooh, this makes me want to do everything. They're playing with whips and handcuffs and all that. They get in the hot tub with their champagne and everything. And, they get to it. Great. So then Anaya and Trinity chat, and Anaya tells her about everything going down with KC, and she's like, he's making me feel like I'm a safe option. And Trinity was like, please don't take this the wrong way, but I don't think it's that serious because he really does prioritize you. And if he really wanted to pursue Soul, he would, because a man is going to do what a man is going to do. True. But something tells me that now that it's out in the open, he might go for it. I don't know. And honestly, I think he should. It's Love Island. And as I've said before, the day one couples are boring to me. Like, show me something, explore and come back together at least, like that. Just because you're together from day one doesn't mean that I'm going to vote for you. It's like quite the opposite, to be honest. But anyway. So Anaya's like, yeah, he might be telling everybody else that he really likes me, but I don't feel that. And I don't feel the reassurance. And I said, okay, this doesn't make sense because every other time you've been in the beach hut, your number one compliment of him is that he's always reassuring you. Always, always, always. So what are you talking about? And she says that like he'll say something and then he'll contradict it by saying some stupid shit. And I said, maybe so. I mean, he is a man after all. But I would like some examples. So Trinity is like, well, do you have conversations with him about it? And she's like, yeah, but he doesn't take stuff seriously because he's big and goofy, basically. So it's hard to feel secure. And I'm like, okay. So it sounds like you don't like him. And my original thought about her not liking him for real was correct. Because if you feel like you can't have serious conversations with him because he plays too much and you don't feel secure after all of the reassuring I've seen him do, this isn't going to work. It's not going to get any better. So let's just stop pretending. And Trinity is like, he's a good guy. And I don't think he would be with you just to be with you if that's not what he really wanted. So just sleep on it and see how you feel tomorrow. So then Kenzie and Corbin chat on the dock and oh, they just miss each other. And Kenzie says that, things are going well with Caleb. And Corbin is like, but this is a sticky situation and it's so stressful because he really cares about her and they have such a good connection, but they got ripped out of their couple by America. And now he's with Mel, but he's like, I still have a great connection with you. And I don't want to lose the connection that we have, but I don't know how to balance it all. And then he tells her that the ball is in her court. And I said, huh? You both said that y'all were going to give your couples a chance or whatever. So how did it get in her court, Because he just told Mel that he was going to cut it off with Kenzie so he could focus on his current couple with her. And now he's singing a different tune. And he's like, I don't want to stop. And Kenzie is sitting on Corbin's lap right now, by the way. So not honoring the boundaries that she and Caleb set for their couple earlier. And Caleb can see them too. Okay. So then Corbin is like, well, how are you feeling about me and Mel? And she was like, not good. And he was like, well, do your feelings for me cut off like you exploring things with Caleb? And she said, it's just hard. And he said, it's hard too. So since no answers were provided there, I'm going to take that as a no. It does not cut her off from exploring Caleb because she likes him. And more importantly, she loves you chasing her. The lion chasing the gazelle thing. Never forget. Okay. So she's like, you're just always in the back of my mind. And they're all in each other's faces. And she's like, I love your eye contact. I miss cuddling with you. And he's like, we're going to figure it out. But I am going to continue exploring Melanie, and you're going to do the same with Caleb. Just know my feelings for you are still there. And she's like, I want to kiss you. And shockingly enough, he does not kiss her. The kissing bandit himself. I couldn't believe it. And Kenzie's like, oh, why can't we just go to the hideaway? And he was like, oh, there would be problems. And she's like, what kind of problems? All right, just go and find out. You already know, like, stop playing dumb. And then Corbin's like, how could America break us up? They're so dramatic. I'll tell you how we could do it. Because Kenzie said she was screaming, but the S is silent at the thought of a cowboy, Southern boy coming in. And then he came in. That's how. You need to ask Kenzie. Ugh. So now poor Caleb is stressing. He's just in the kitchen watching them all cuddled up on the dock, torturing himself, really. I don't know why he's watching. And he's like, I want her to focus on me and our connection and just like forget about Corbin. And I'm like, well, Caleb, go over there. Get her, pull her for a chat, fight back a little. Damn. So he thinks that they were kissing over there. And when he says it, Mel is in the kitchen too, and she overhears it. And she was like, excuse me, they made out tonight? Oh. So then Caleb and Kenzie chat, and he's like, how you feeling? She's like, I feel good. I had a good conversation with Corbin, but that's all. He was like, y'all didn't kiss? And she was like, no. And he was like, well, I guess I'm seeing things. And she was like, yeah, I mean, I would tell you. And that was the end of that. And I said, good chat, guys. So then in the dressing room, the girls are having a good time talking about how Kata's probably getting fucked. And then here comes Mel with her drama, and she's near tears, in quotes, because she's not, but she wants to be near tears. And Anaya's like, what's wrong? She's like, I can't even tell you. I'm gonna go sleep outside. I said, oh, brother, here she goes again, sleeping outside for attention. I am so tired of the dramatics. I really am. So the next morning, Anaya has to get up and go check on Mel. Well, she doesn't have to, but she does. And she's like, okay, so tell me what happened last night. And, Melanie tells her that she heard that Kenzie and Corbin kissed last night, even though they didn't. And I'm just like, you could have just talked to Corbin about it the same way that Caleb did with Kenzie. But no, she'd rather do what gets her the most attention, which is sleeping outside again. Because honestly, she didn't really get any attention for doing it the night before. No one was checking for her. And I loved that. So she was like, sleeping outside, take two. And I just don't know why she couldn't tell Anaya this information last night. Like, it's not that long or dramatic of a story, you know? Meanwhile, Anaya is actually going through it, but she has to deal with Melanie and her shit instead. So this rumor about Kenzie and Corbin kissing is spreading through the villa. And in the dressing room, Kenzie is like, hello, why didn't someone just ask me about it? We did not kiss. And in the kitchen, Corbin's like, nope, we didn't kiss. But you know what? I can see why y'all thought we were from here. And that was that. So then Casey tries to pull Anaya for a chat, and she's like, no, not right now, because they're still beefing. And, well, she's beefing. But now he's mad because she didn't want to talk to him. So now they actually are beefing. So then Corbin comes over and Casey tells him about last night and how he was talking to Soul. And then Anaya came over and was like, I feel like I'm your second option and you settled with me and you actually want Soul. And he's like, I literally told Soul I'm 100% into her like a bunch of times. And like I choose her every day. So she's just mad for no reason. No, she's not mad for no reason, but I understand why he is frustrated too, right? So then Corbin is like, I'm in a sticky situation with Kenzie. He keeps saying sticky situation, and I don't know why it's bothering me, but it is. Say something else. So he's like, we just had this sexual tension and we were already doing stuff in bed. I was DJing on that bitch. And I said, okay, all right, we get it. And he's like, she just feels sexy as fuck to me. And these are the seizures I'm talking about. This is why those two are so into each other, in quotes. It's just sexual. That's it. You can't convince me that there's more to it because there isn't. So then KC was like, well, me and Anaya haven't done shit. She goes to sleep as soon as they turn the lights off like a grandma. And I said, not too much. Okay, some of us are just sleepy girls. All right. But apparently, this is an issue for him because he's very touchy and he has told her that. And it sounds to me like she isn't. So, is this not like a compatibility issue? Like it sounds like this just isn't going to work. And in the beach hut, he's like, we've been really good up until this point, and now it's like one thing happens and it changes her whole outlook on the relationship, and it's just frustrating. Um, I don't think that it's changed her outlook on the relationship. I believe this has been her outlook the whole time. She's just being more vocal about it now. But what do I know? So then he tells Corbin that she doesn't even realize that all of this is going to make him start exploring more. And I don't know what he means by more because he hasn't explored at all, but she does understand that. This is like the self-fulfilling prophecy thing. She already feels like you don't want her for real. And then she hears that you were interested in Soul and she's like, I knew it. And now she is sabotaging it low key so that you'll go and try and get with Soul. And she'll be like, see, I was right the whole time. I knew it. I knew it. And that's that. So then Trinity and Bryce chat, and Bryce is like, how do you feel about Caleb? And they talk about how much they like him and he's nice and all that. And then Bryce is like, okay, but Kenzie is kind of a loose cannon because of Corbin and Caleb. And I said, that's not what makes her a loose cannon. Okay. I'm with Trinity. I think she's just doing Love Island and exploring, but I want her to stop pretending like she's not enjoying it. 'Cause I know she is. I know she's loving every second of this. So her whole, "Oh, I'm so stressed, I'm so upset," that little act, drop it. All right? So Caleb and Kenzie chat, and he tells her about why he thought she and Corbin were kissing last night. And then he was like, "But I wasn't even mad." Like, it just gets to a point, you know? Like, how long am I supposed to be watching y'all all hugged up and stuff? And Kenzie's like, "I don't know. I don't have a timeline." And what she meant to say is she doesn't intend to stop ever, okay? Because she doesn't. She's too horny. She wants Corbin. So Caleb was like, should I explore more and put more energy into other people? And I yelled, yes. And then Kenzie was like, well, yes, because that's what I'm doing. And I feel like it's not fair because I'm feeling like I can't do that. And Caleb was like, okay, well, I'll just stay out of y'all's business then. And she was like, yeah, and I'll keep you posted. So they're in the same position that they started in. I don't think anything was necessarily resolved, but they sealed the conversation with a kiss. So there's that. Now Trinity and Nia and Soul are watching the boys work out. And they're enjoying it so much that they have to move closer so that they can get a better look. And I said, fair. What else are you going to do in there? Right? Like Anaya said, my show is on. It was so cute. So they literally pull their bean bags up directly in front of the boys, directly in front of them. And they're like focused on Corbin. They were like, yeah, this is the channel we need to stay on right here. They're like, he has the perfect body. And yes, I will give him that. And you know what? It was nice to see Soul with the girls and just like interacting with them, giggling with them, having like a cute girly time. And then Melanie joins and Trinity's like, you need to explore that now, right now. Like you need to let that old shit go and stop sleeping outside. And I said, tell her, Trinity, tell her. And Melanie's sitting there like, really? Yes, bitch. Yes, really. What the fuck? So then Kata and Zach come back from the hideaway, and it's time for everyone to get the play by play. So they split up and they each tell the boys and the girls that they had sex, and everyone is screaming and yassing and the usual. And Kenzie's like, I need some dick bad. I haven't had sex in a year and a half. And I was like, yeah. And it shows. Okay. Add that to the evidence of her and Corbin being strictly sexual, please. Thank you. Now, Melanie and Caleb have a chat about Kenzie and Corbin and how they're feeling about all of it. And Melanie's like, I'm calmer now because I know that they didn't kiss and it was just a misunderstanding. And Caleb's like, I feel like I'm getting closer to Kenzie, but she's not stepping away from Corbin. And I feel like she's just keeping me in her back pocket just in case. Yes, correct. And Melanie was like, well, I think you should just ask her when she's going to step away from Corbin and focus on you. And he kind of did, but she like didn't give him an answer. So there's that. And then Melanie was like, that's actually why I haven't slept in the bed this whole time. I said, liar. Notice how she keeps changing her reasoning for sleeping outside to fit whatever conversation she's having? Mhm. You're not fooling me, Miss Thing. I know what you're up to. You're not sleeping in that bed with Corbin because you still want sincere. And when you guys eventually talk again, you want to be able to be like, well, I didn't even sleep in the bed with him. That's how much like I only want you. I know what you're doing. I've seen this story before. Okay. So then Caleb was like, "Be real with me. Are you still into Sincere?" And she was like, "Yeah, I have feelings, but I'm not gonna do anything about them. I'm just gonna let it be." I said, "Mhm." So then Kenzie and Jen chat, and I was like, "Oh, of course these 2 are besties now." And she's like, "I really wanted to kiss Corbin last night, and he wanted to kiss me, and we miss each other, and blah, blah, blah. But he's also saying he wants to respect the couple." And Jen was like, "What couple?" Because Mel won't even sleep in the bed with him. And I said, "Well, you do have a little bit of a point there." And Kenzie was like, "Is it because she still wants Sincere and she's like not being honest about still wanting to explore him because they haven't even talked?" Yes, I said the same thing. It's very strange. When are they going to talk? They have to. So then Jen was like, "I don't know what she wants." And I don't think Mel does either. Well, no, that's not true. I think she wants Sincere, but she wants to want Corbin, because it's like she has to be convinced, When the girls were watching the boys work out and Trinity was like, "You need to explore that now." Melanie was like, "Really?" And I think that says it all because I thought you were committed to exploring him already, Melanie. Like, what's going on? And somehow, whatever Melanie is doing or not doing is making things harder on Kenzie. And I said, "Okay, well, now you've lost me because no, you are moving how you want to, regardless of what Melanie's doing. Corbin is steady telling you that he wants to be respectful of Melanie and their couple and this and that doesn't stop you from being all up in his face asking for kisses. So shut up." So Kenzie's like, "I'm just trying to be really straightforward with Caleb." And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to be blindsided." And she's like, "It's just hard because he's putting all his eggs in my basket." That's his problem. If he's not exploring, that's on him, not you, okay? And again, she's like, "It's just hard to juggle 2 guys." No, it's not. Her real issue is people talking about what's allowed and what's not allowed, and that's just annoying her. She's like, "We should be exploring to our fullest extent and not holding back." And she feels like everyone is holding back for other people's feelings. Translation, she wants Mel to sleep inside and for her and Corbin to sleep in soul ties so they can have sex out there because that's all she wants at this point. Okay. She wants to be able to do whatever she wants with Corbin and not have to hear anyone's mouth about it. And it's not realistic, Like you actually can do whatever the fuck you want, but there will be consequences. And that's just life. But I do agree with the last part about what she said, which is people are holding back for other people's feelings, 100%. Now, Melanie and Corbin chat, and Corbin is like, "Where were you? I was lonely last night. So tell me what was going on." And she was like, "Well, I heard y'all kissed." And he was like, "Honestly, we both wanted to kiss, but out of respect for you and our couple, I didn't kiss her." And he was like, "Damn, I did that. And then you still slept outside. Like I'm trying really hard." And I actually do believe he's trying hard because to go from asking everyone for kisses all the time to rejecting a kiss that he really wants is something. I'm not going to give him a medal for it. That doesn't mean he just like deserves to cuddle with Melanie or anything, but if she really wants to explore the connection like she says she does, then sleep in the bed. Okay, this is part of it. And she's like, "I know you still have feelings for her, and I know while you're in that, you can't really explore us." And he was like, "Yeah, the connection is still there, but I chose you for a reason. Like, that is something that I want to explore more. And me and Kenzie not kissing proves that I want to grow our connection. So are you going to keep sleeping outside or what?" And she was like, "No, I'll sleep with you tonight." Okay, great. Trinity, Bryce, Soul, and Sincere play Never Have I Ever, and we learned that Trinity did a foot job and it hurt her foot. And that's it. Mel and Anaya chat, and Anaya is feeling super overwhelmed by Casey thinking everything is a joke and, he don't take anything seriously. And she says she doesn't feel like he's not putting the intent because if she felt that way, she would have been done with him a while ago. And then she says he does put the intent and he does make her feel reassured. And I said, "See?" But she just said last night that he doesn't. I don't know why she said that. But now she's saying her main thing is him playing and laughing too much in serious situations. And I totally get that. It would piss me off too. Bad. So she's like, everything isn't a joke. Like, it's not funny. It's not funny. This isn't the Disney Channel. We have to be serious sometimes, and, like, I wanna feel heard." And she's like, "Just because I wanna have a serious conversation doesn't mean that, like, I wanna call the whole thing off. I just want you to listen." Again, totally fair. And she's like, "I don't even know how to go about the conversation with him." I said, "Do it just like this." This was perfect. But we know this isn't her only issue. You also feel like the second option and you don't really like him. But yeah, she says she wants him to be more serious and authentic with her and for her to be the only option. And also with the bedroom shit, can a bitch take it slow? I said, "Yes." And he should respect whatever you wanna do or whatever you don't wanna do, and if he doesn't and it's a problem for him, then he can fuck off, okay? Oh, and I will say Melanie was great during this conversation. She was listening to Anaya, letting her vent, and actually giving her good advice, like, "Think about what you wanna say before you go into the chat. No, you're not being overdramatic. You need to just talk to him, blah, blah, blah." And she, like, didn't make it about herself, like, at all, and I thought that was good. So Casey, Sincere, and Gabe are in the room getting ready for the night. And I gotta say, I don't like Casey's attitude. Not one bit. He's like, "I'm being punished for not exploring." And Sincere's like, "Well, I was being punished for exploring." No, you were being punished for lying. Let's get that straight. And then Casey's like, "What the fuck do they want?" And Sincere's dumbass is like, "Shoot first, ask questions later." Terrible advice. And I would hope that Casey would know better than to listen to anything that that clown Sincere has to say, for real. And then Casey's like, "I should just be from Brazil so I can get away with everything." Shut up. So then Sincere and Soul chat, and he's like, "I just wanted to be open and honest with you." And I had to laugh because open and honest coming from him is hilarious. But he was like, "I do feel kinda guilty for not talking to Melanie about how everything went down." And I said, "Oh, okay, here we go. The conversation is upon us." And she was like, "Okay, so are you gonna chat with her?" And he was like, "Yeah, but it'll just be about, like, what went down that night, like, nothing else. This is what I want at the end of the day, like you and me." I said, "Mhm." I've heard this story before, and although I believe it more when he says it to Soul, because I I believe he's in love with her, I'm still not sure about him. Like I said in the beginning, he's not to be trusted, and he loves chaos and drama, and the past couple of days have been pretty quiet for him, so he might be ready to get some shit going again, you know? So then Kenzie is talking to Jen and just being an absolute brat, just straight up entitled. She's like, "If Corbin doesn't pull me, I don't want to talk to him. And I don't want to talk to him if he's not going to kiss me." This coming from the girl who is just so stressed about having two connections and juggling two guys. If you want to kiss so bad, go talk to and kiss Caleb. Corbin is trying to be respectful, and Kenzie is like, "I know you fucking lying." And I'm just really annoyed by her, like, I'm not gonna lie, because her whole, "I'm sick of people telling me what I can and can't do, and the boundary shit is so stupid," is really her just mad that she can't have sex with Corbin without it being a big deal, and I'm really tired of her, like, she's taking it too far. And then she has the nerve to say she's not doing this back and forth shit. When she just got mad at Caleb for saying that very thing to her earlier in the day. The self-awareness is just not there. And Jen's dumbass is just sitting there agreeing with everything she says. You know what? Go back to not showing Jen. I changed my mind. I changed my mind. And Kenzie's like, "Well, whose feelings are you protecting? Because you're hurting mine by not kissing me. So clearly you like her more." And I said, "Oh, so you'd rather hurt Melanie's feelings. That would be better, right?" Girl, fuck you. And you clearly don't give a fuck about Caleb's feelings either. It's not about him liking her more. Like, I don't know how much more clear he could have been in explaining why he's not kissing you right now. Like, don't be dense. And she's like, "I'm done. I can't do this shit and like someone and he likes someone else too." But again, it's fine for her to do it. And please do not mistake this for me like defending the men. I would never. And I'm positive that y'all know that, but I just want to say it in case anyone's new here. I'm just pointing out how much of a brat she's being because she's not getting her way. And she just like doesn't understand not being everyone's first choice. Just like in the beginning when Zach was like, "I don't like blondes," and she was glitching about it for days. The same thing is happening now. Because how could you be putting Melanie's feelings before mine? Why would you ever do that? Like it does not compute. Oh, she's pissing me off. So then Casey and Anaya chat, and he's like, "So you're saying I'm either laughing too much or I'm too low and I need to be somewhere in the middle. And I get that, but like, this is just me. And you're naturally chill and mellow. And like, I don't know if you're getting bored or what, but like, other people bring out different sides of you. And I don't know what I can change to make you feel like I'm more into you." And she's like, "I love joking and having a good time with you. I don't want you to change your personality. I just want you to be more serious when it's time to have a serious conversation." And then he's like, "Okay, here's something that pissed me off. When you said I'm just with you to coast for like another week," he was like, "that was disrespectful." And she was like, "Yeah, I felt disrespected too because no one wants to feel like a second option. I want to be your first choice." And he's like, "You have been. And by the way, not holding this against you, but just want to mention that I wasn't your first choice." And I said, "Oh, it's true." And another reason I thought she didn't like him for real, because remember, no one stood behind his door. It was so embarrassing. But he's like, "Yeah, you've been my first option since that day." And she's like, "Okay, but I've also chosen you since then. Like, it's never been questionable with me." And I said, "To me, it has been. And it still is low key." But anyway. And then she was like, "I'm just confused about how this got spun on me." Which I get, but I feel like they're just, like, both airing their shit out at this point, you know? Like, it's that type of conversation, let's just get it all out. And now here goes Anaya, because now she's mad again. She's like, "I feel like the next thing you should do after this conversation is go and chat with Soul. Like, I don't give a shit if you talk to her, I really don't." I said, "Oh, brother, Anaya, stop it. Why are you doing this?" And he's just sitting there looking at her like, "I know you fucking lying." And then she just gets up and leaves. And he's like, "What?" So, not a good chat. Nothing was resolved. And then Kata, Trinity, and Gabe chat, and they're like, "So, how are you and Jen?" And he was like, "Good, we're having a good time." And they're like, "Oh, we know," because obviously they're having a good time in bed. And they're like, "She really likes you too." And Kata was like, "So, if Bea was still here, would you be pursuing Jen or would you just be with Bea?" And he was like, "I don't know. It's hard to say." And Kata was like, "Well, do you see yourself walking out of here with Jen?" And he said, "Yeah." Gabe, please. I'm not buying it. Sorry. I think if another bombshell comes in that he's attracted to, he could easily be feeling the same way about them. Like, oh my God, he is just going to show his ass during Casa. That's what I know, which is next week, by the way. And apparently they're showing it in theaters. This is crazy. This is crazy. But anyway, um, I want Kata and Trinity to drop the Bea thing. She's gone and we're moving on. Okay. Leave Gabe alone. So then Kenzie, Jen, and Soul go chat. And she's like, "Let's chat, girls, because I haven't been able to like get everything out." And I said, "Huh?" All I've been hearing this episode is you getting it out. So they ask how things are with Caleb, and she's like, "Good, but I don't know. I don't know about either of them, to be honest." Lie. You want Corbin so you can fuck him, and you also want him so that you can say that you got him and Mel didn't. And they're like, "Caleb really likes you and you have a lot in common." And she's like, "Yeah, but he gets nervous around me." Okay. And Soul's like, "Well, yes, he's probably putting a guard up because he doesn't know what you're going to do, basically. So why would he put everything on the line?" And then Kenzie's like, "I'm just sick of it being so messy," which isn't true because she's the one having temper tantrums because Corbin is trying to respect his couple and won't kiss her right now. So then Soul is like, "It's going really well with Sincere. We're very in sync." And she says he makes her nervous system calm down. She can relax with him. And I said, "Wow." So the opposite of what he made Melanie feel. That's crazy. And Jen is like, "The only thing that makes me nervous is that he switched up on Melanie so fast, and I don't want him to do that to you." Fair. Good point. And then here goes Kenzie talking about, "Oh, well, they had a lot of drama." And I feel like Sincere felt down a lot. Sincere created a lot of that drama with his lies. It wasn't just Mel. Like, come on. So then Soul is like, "Well, he's telling me he's really happy with me and I'm the only one he wants to pursue." And again, we have heard this before. And again, I do believe it more when he says it to Soul, but still, you can't trust him. You just don't know with him. Oh my God. And then it finally happens. Sincere pulls Melanie for a chat and he's like, I just wanted to see how you're doing since we haven't talked after getting split up. And he's like, I know we're doing our own things, but I don't want to treat you like a stranger. We were together for a while and I don't want to just like act like it didn't happen. And he's like, I know I fucked up. And I never wanted to close that door with you, but I just want to give you the space of respecting you and Corbin. And then Melanie does exactly what I said she would do. She was like, I haven't even kissed him outside of a challenge, and I haven't even slept in the bed with him. I told y'all she slept outside so she could say to Sincere, like, all I could think about was you. I only like you. I only want you. So I couldn't even think about sleeping in the bed with another man. It was never an option. And here she goes doing just that. And she's like, I just have to like watch y'all being happy together. And he's like, well, it's not easy, Melanie. She was like, it looks easy as hell. And he was like, looks can be deceiving. True, but that's not the case here. It is easy as hell. Like, you're having the time of your life. And he was like, I think about you all the time. And she was like, me too. And then she was like, how are you feeling about Soul? And he was like, I'm still getting to know her. But like seeing you walk down those stairs and you're not coming to me, that makes me feel some type of way. And it feels awkward not waking up next to you. I miss you. And I said, oh, Melanie, open your eyes. He just changed the subject without answering your question because he doesn't want to tell you the truth. And you don't even notice because you're too caught up in him saying nice things about you and telling you what you want to hear. Oh, now Mel is like, oh, I really like Sincere. I like being with him. If he wants to fix or grow our connection like he would, I said, oh, brother. And then he's like, I miss hearing your voice. And she's like, "You can hear my voice. I'm loud as fuck." He was like, "Yeah, but not to me." And you can just see her melting. Like it just was way too easy. I can't. And now he's like, "I'm not closing the door with Melanie." So this is going to happen again for sure. Soul, I told you the triangle wasn't over. I told you. Buckle up, sweetie. So then Corbin pulls Kenzie for a chat and they go to the bedroom, which is crazy already. Who goes to chat in there? So he's like, how are you doing? Like, I didn't get to talk to you today. And she's like, well, you could have, but you didn't. You saw my bikini and you didn't say shit. Ugh. So she was like, how do you feel about our conversation last night? He was like, I liked our conversation. I just didn't like that we couldn't kiss. And she's like, well, that was your call. And he was like, correct. She was like, well, I just feel like you're sparing her feelings and not mine. And when we were together, you asked to kiss her and you kissed Caleb. Hello? So she's like, clearly you're into her more. And he was like, that was a one-time thing. Like, my feelings for you are still there. I just don't know how to move in this situation. And he's like, I hate seeing you with someone else. And she's like, okay, but I feel like you're right where you want to be. Oh my God, Kenzie, shut the fuck up. At this point, Kenzie just wants to win. She wants to be like, I got Corbin. Aha, basically. Like, and she's like, last night I put myself out there and told you how I feel about you. And he was like, yeah, I did the same. And she was like, no, you didn't. And he was like, okay, so because I didn't kiss you one time, that doesn't mean that we will never kiss again. And he was like, so the whole thing is done now? And she was like, well, you're not giving me signs that you like me. This coming from the bitch that said she is tired of how messy this has gotten and she doesn't want to deal with it anymore. Now, if that's really how you felt and you weren't just running your mouth, you'd take this as a sign and be like, okay, that settles that. Over to Caleb I go, right? But she is just saying shit so that she can get her way. And she does. Corbin kisses her. And, now she's been chosen in this moment. And it's what every pick me wants. So then she's like, oh, I just love kissing him. He makes me horny as fuck. We know, girl. We know. And I gotta say, like, it's getting a little weird. Okay. Like, you just want to fuck this black guy. And then she's like, let's not tell anyone we kissed. It's just going to blow everything up. And he's like, I'm not going to say shit. Fuck the repercussions. This is going to come back to bite y'all in the worst way. If not movie night, in some other way. And I don't know how they don't know this by now, but you can't keep secrets in the villa. You can't do it. It is not a thing. Meanwhile, Caleb is talking about how he needs to step it up with Kenzie and whatever is meant to be will be and all this shit. And he's like, one thing about Kenzie though, she's very honest. I don't have to worry about her lying to me or anything like that. And I said, oh my God, I cannot wait for everyone to find out about this and for there to be a big blowout. I really cannot wait. And that was it. Another great episode. It looks like tonight we're going to get to vote. So I'm very excited about that. And I will talk to y'all again tomorrow. Love you. Bye.
Bitch. Is that better? Is bitch better? Is bitch better? Is bitch better?